There's a meeting of the Group of 24 Industrial Nations, which will discuss issues to effectively support economic reform in Eastern and Central Europe. President Mitterrand of France discussed his plan to reform the Constitution of France. In a TV interview, he stressed that these reforms will touch all three branches of government: judicial, legislative, and executive. President Mitterrand, in a television interview in France, Yugoslavia, President Mitterrand noted that in Yugoslavia, he plans to create a safety channel between Serbia and Croatia to save peaceful refugees. Independence Day celebrations in Warsaw, Poland. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, Honor Guard, President and Commander-in-Chief Lech Walesa laid a wreath of flowers at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Warsaw, Poland. In Bratislava, Czechoslovakia, today there commenced a joint session of the Czech and Slovak parliaments to discuss government structures and other issues. President Havel took part, so did the prime ministers of both republics. Much has changed in our relations with Germany, and Defense Minister Shapashnikov is in Bonn today. This is his first visit of a defense minister in West Germany. The meeting discussed the future of the Soviet army. Soviet officials say it should be 3 million in number. But German officials believe 2 million would be enough for the Soviet Union. The Germans are concerned about control of nuclear weapons and our ability to destroy in 4 years all of our tactical nuclear weapons. Also about compensation to the Soviet Union for removal of its forces from Eastern Europe. The USSR could use a few billion marks. It would be very helpful to remove these troops. The Germans also raised issues about ecological damage caused by the Soviet army. German Defense Minister and Kohl discussed possibilities of increasing military cooperation between the two nations. In Cairo, Egypt, a meeting of the Damascus Declaration participants, a meeting of 8 Arab meetings, their officials discussed the Madrid Peace Conference. They also spoke of military cooperation to provide security and stability in the Middle East. They also met with Egyptian President Mubarak. The U.S. supports Japan's position and its claims for northern territories, the islands controlled by the Soviet Union today. Secretary of State was in Japan today, talking to the Japanese Foreign Minister, Watanabe. Watanabe noted Japan's soft position in terms of the return of the Japanese islands, and also to treat the Soviet residents of these islands with respect. Well-known Soviet military leader, World War II participant, Air Force Marshal Kirsanov, passed away at 73 years of age. He was awarded numerous awards and medals. Grand Prince Vladimir Kirillovich Romanov finished his first visit to Russia today, visiting the land of his ancestors by a personal invitation The Grand Prince noted that he would help Russia in any way he can. St. Petersburg Mayor Sobchak noted that the Grand Prince's visit had no political meaning, but it was just a gesture of free will and about Soviets' desire, the desire of the Soviet Union to open its doors to immigrants, Soviet immigrants, and Russian immigrants who left our country. Today is the 170th anniversary of Dostoevsky's birthday. In Moscow, numerous events are commemorating this birthday. The Hall of Columns in Moscow was attended by Gorbachev and his wife. Dostoevsky, citation. Dostoevsky wrote that, "I can't believe that only 1/10 of the population will get a good education, and 9/10 will just be providing the means for that 1/10 to become educated and live well. I want to believe that all our 90 million or so people, all our Russian people, will one day be educated and happy. And I believe that reason and rationality will reign in Russia one day, and perhaps sooner than anywhere else." Dostoevsky believed that one day all people will be educated, humanized, and happy, fortunate. Do you believe this to be possible? Evgeny Yevtushenko: "I believe that all people can be educated, and not just half educated as they are right now. But I do not believe that all people will necessarily become fortunate, satisfied. I think that if a person is completely happy with his own personal life, that this world will also host plenty of those people who are unfortunate." Dostoevsky believed that one day everybody will be happy, all people will be fortunate. I think this is possible, because if it wasn't, life would be senseless. How would this be achieved? That's another issue. And I think that the whole tragedy of the human race is that people understand happiness in different ways. People, as a rule, are unsatisfied with themselves often, and often believe that they have been hurt by their fate or untreated fairly by fate. Only that person who can be happy with life, who has patience to overcome difficulties, he can be happy. Are you fortunate? I cannot say that I'm happy. I can only say that I'm very lucky in my life. One day, Dostoevsky wrote, "One day, everybody in Russia will be educated, humanized, and fortunate." When?
Ну что ж, если верить нашему поэту, то страдание должно быть счастье. И это, судя по всему, в полной мере относится к авиаспортсменам, которые
aviation sports people, the second day, because of bad weather, cannot start their events in Australia. 5 planes from Australia are supposed to fly through Asia at the initiative of Soviet and Australian pilots. Cosmonaut Volkov, who will head this mission, hopes for a start tomorrow morning. A flight over Asia, starting from Australia by Soviet and Australian pilots. The Soviet team won the German Cup, playing the Swedish team and tying 2-2. This game was resolved in the third period when the Soviet team caught up with the Swedish team and tied the score 2-2. Soviet team, after losing the Canada Cup, winning the German Cup in Bonn was very good for the Soviet team. We'll continue our program, TV program, by showing you a game in Moscow. This is the final match of our first commercial tournament, the first commercial hockey tournament in the USSR. CSKA is playing Spartak. The winner will receive 1 million rubles in cash.
Слово «цена победы в матче» придала игре хоккеистов довольно интересную и зрелищную окраску. Спартаковцы, делегировавшие в первую сборную
Спартак
хоккеистов, имели на турнире в наличии две полноценные, хорошо сбалансированные пятерки,
Had
что в
two
конечном итоге и принесло
5-player
им победу.
shifts
3-1 в матче в поле.
for this tournament, and that let them win this event. So they won 3-1 today.
Смотрите захватывающую процедуру вручения главного приза.
And here, the final prize is being given out, but most of it was donated to charity.
Представительный турнир батутистов, который
Here's
завершился
a
в Чехословакии,
trampoline tournament in Czechoslovakia.
этого вида спорта. Общепризнан на международной арене авторитет наших спортсменов, которые
So
на этот раз
sports people are very
собрали
respected
победителей
in the sport,
видах
in this
программы.
event.
Сложность, высота и четкость прыжков – вот эти три
Very-
качества и были союзниками лауреатов состязаний, не заставивших ни на секунду усомниться судей и зрителей в своем отточенном мастерстве.
In the Soviet sports, people were very well trained and performed very well at these events.
И в заключение выпуска информации для любителей